Okay, hello everyone. This is the Events and Student Affairs Committee meeting on Thursday, October 14th, 2021. I will call this meeting to order at 12:07 p.m. I am doing this meeting from the unceded and stolen territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. Unceded means that these lands have never been given up or stolen. And I encourage you all as community members and as students and as settlers to understand whose lands you're on, to see what you can do to stand in solidarity and be allies to Indigenous peoples, but actively do that within the work that you do, whether you are a non-executive counselor or whether you are just a committee member, because we can actually do a lot of things within this position to incorporate and include Indigenous voices as well as other marginalized voices as well. So we will do a roll call of attendance. In this roll call of attendance, I ask that you state your preferred name, your preferred pronouns, and your access needs. For your pronouns and your access needs, if you don't feel comfortable sharing it with everyone, please feel free to privately message me. And then at least I will know. I also have turned on live transcripts so that you can read the closed captioning, but if this is too distracting for you, you can also turn it off on your own individual end. So my name is Jess, my pronouns are she, her, hers. I am VP Events and Student Affairs and the chair of this committee. For my access needs, I'm working remotely right now for the morning. Also, everyone decided to be home today, so I might get some disruptions here and there and might have to turn off my audio or my video really quickly, but we'll turn it on as soon as I can. We'll go on to our vice chair, Akam.
Hi everyone, my name is Akam. My pronouns are she, her, hers. All of my access needs are met, but I also might have to turn my camera on and off throughout the meeting.
Thank you, Akam. We'll go on to our software systems counselor, Shashank, but unfortunately it does not look like they are here today, and I still have yet to receive some regrets. So I will double check that. We'll go on to our behavioral neuroscience counselor.
Hi everyone, my name is Arthi and my pronouns are she, her. And as for all my access needs, they're all met, but I'm just gonna have my camera down for today because I'm not feeling too well. But it's so nice to meet everyone.
Thank you, Arthi. I know we haven't had a meeting in a hot minute, so I'm gonna try and pick it up this semester. Our Student Athlete Advisory Committee Counselor, Paul Ursu, cannot attend these meetings for the fall 2021 semester due to conflict with class. So I will have to sort that situation out with him. We will move on to our student at large, Justine.
Hi everyone, my name is Justine. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm watching this on data right now, so trying to stay away from the camera so I don't use it all up. Other than that, all of my access needs are met.
Justine, I hope you have enough data to finish this meeting and for the rest of the month too, because you got 2 weeks left for October. Okay, we'll go on to our student at large, Angela.
Hi, my name is Angela. My pronouns are she, her, hers. My access needs are met. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I will be keeping my camera off just because I just got home from Vancouver. So I'm not really prepared. Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you, Angela. We also have a student at large, Emma, but I also believe that this is in conflict with her classes. So I will double check with her. Student at large, Kim, is not here. Okay, and we also have Ava.
Yeah, hi, my name is Ava. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and all my access needs are met. I will be turning on and off my audio, but my camera will be off today just because I also am just in my room and like to keep my camera off today.
No worries at all. Thank you, Ava. And Kayla, if you can type or Oh, she's ready. Okay. Hi, my name is Kayla. She, her, hers pronouns. Access needs is that she is going home right now, so I'm not able to use a microphone. That's okay. Thank you. Get home safe. So we'll move on to our society. Oh, we do have regrets from Justine. Okay, great. So she has regrets today. We'll move on to our society staff, our events coordinator.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all. Well, hear, see, and read. My name is Dipti, pronouns she, her, hers, and all my access needs are met. But unfortunately, just to save a little bit of internet so that I do not get cut off and I hear everything clear, I'm going to keep my camera off.
Thank you, Dipti. We'll move on to our consent agenda 4.1. Oh, just a reminder that if you want to talk, we type list. If you agree with someone what they are saying, then you type a whole bunch of pluses. And then if you want to have a direct response to someone, you would type this little star thing. Oh, there's Shashank. Okay, let's just right on time. Hello, Shashank.
Hi, I'm so sorry I'm late.
That's okay. We were just finishing our introduction, so would you like to go with your name, your pronouns, your position, and your access needs?
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. My name is Shashank Tandalapati. I am the counselor of Software System Student Society. My pronouns are he, him, and all my accessibility needs are met. Thank you.
Thank you, Shashank. We do have quorum today, so this counts as a legit meeting. Thank you for coming. Okay, so now we'll move on to item 4.1, consent agenda, which does have a ratification of regrets from student at large Justine, who cannot make it today until 12:30 due to an online lecture. So be it resolved to adopt the consent agenda by unanimous consent. May I have a mover?
Akam.
Akam moves, and may I have a seconder?
Shashank.
And Shashank. Just a reminder to our student at large that you can move and second. It's basically saying like, yeah, I agree. I do want to talk about it. Moving and seconding also would require 2 people. So you can hop in at any time. So item 5, adoption of the agenda. I actually do have some amendments to make to the agenda. So we're gonna do it like this. Gonna get a little crazy, and I need some patience because it's not very good at this. I'm going to add another discussion item labeled 8.5, delegation of roles, and another announcement at the end of our meeting labeled 9.2 and for announcements, which would be remote work for events coordinator. So are there any other amendments to make to the agenda? Okay, can I have a mover for this batch of amendments? I'll move. Can I have a seconder?
Justine.
Ooh, thank you, Justine. So we're gonna do Jess and Justine. Okay, now we're back to the main motion because we approved all of the amendments to the agenda. So now we'll move back to the main motion. Be it resolved to adopt the agenda as amended. I am seeking unanimous consent on this amendment. Oh, and if you choose to abstain or dissent, please raise your hand on the Zoom. Okay, no one. So we'll put this motion to a vote. Be it resolved to adopt the agenda as amendments. All those in favor seeking unanimous consent. Okay, no one. Thank you. Then we'll move on to new business. 6.1 appointment. Oh, Dipti, I think the label is wrong for this.
For
Item 6.1, the title is wrong.
yeah.
So we'll just ask Amaya to change it
Yep.
once we approve the meeting minutes. So we'll move on to 6.1. So the motion reads as be it resolved to transfer $287.29 for the Welcome Week event and $790.97 for the sub opening from events committee budget line item 817-/20 to engagement Burnaby campus, which is line item 817 and 16. Is there, oh, Dipti, is there, would you like to speak on this motion?
Yeah. So for our Welcome Week event, we did spend this money buying hand sanitizers, masks, and granola bars. We also handed out our SFSS merch, but they were like old ones that we were just giving out. So it was only $287 for one day event, I think. Just is there anything else we had? I think no. We just had like SFSS tote bags, t-shirts, and sling bags. We also had water bottles that we are handing out, and that's all.
Yeah, to add on to that for that day, other things that we needed were very miscellaneous that we didn't have before. Were just like whiteboards and supplies for tabling. So that was just a one-day event. The other items that Dipti mentioned, such as the tote bags and t-shirts and water bottles, we've had that for almost sitting 2 years in our storage because of COVID. So we kind of just wanted to give everything away. And we just bought a lot of food and snacks for students and like school supplies and sticky notes, a bunch of hand sanitizer that were really fancy from Costco, but also at the same time were really cheap because we got them in bulk. So that's where the cost comes from. Dipti, would you like to talk about what we purchased for the sub soft opening?
Yeah, so as you guys know, it was 5 days long event, and we did have light refreshment, which included fruits, bananas and oranges, granola bars. We also had coffee. The cost for the coffee is not included yet because I'm yet to receive invoice from Renaissance Cafe, but once they send it to me, then I will submit another motion, and then we will just pay off for the coffee as well. And we also had SFSS merch as the same thing as we had for the Welcome Week.
So why we're transferring this money is that it's going to come from our committee. Initially, all the purchases didn't come from this committee. We had to use various credit cards, but our committee didn't meet within this time period where we could have approved a motion to purchase these items. So now we're just transferring it because it already happened, as well as you did approve one of them for the tabling because that was through an email motion. If you remember, I asked all of you to say, I approve, if you do approve within an email motion a couple of weeks ago. So that is part of this as well. So seeing as there's no discussion to this motion, I will put this motion to a vote. I will read it again. Be it resolved to transfer $287.29 from the Welcome Week event and $790.97 from the sub opening from events committee budget line 81720 to engagement Burnaby campus 81716. May I have a mover?
Arthi moves.
Arthi moves. And we have a seconder.
Ava, second.
Thank you, Ava. Okay, so the motion is carried. A lot of this transferring might have to happen through, also I know that I'm talking about it still, even though we just ended discussion, but just quickly, we're going to cheat Robert's rules a little bit and say that Some of the times when we do email motions, they are monetary, so we'll have to bring them into live meetings if we can and just talk about that happened. So that's why. Okay, so for presentation, I wasn't able to make a PowerPoint enough time, but I did want to show some pictures from the Subsoft opening week-long event. They have yet to be posted on social media. So not a lot of people even knew that they really happened, but I want to show you first. Give me 1 second while I pull up some pictures. So on one of the days, we had alumni visit, which has no photos in this Google folder. What about our constituency groups? Okay, here it is. So this is exciting. Here is what some of the photos look like from our constituency groups. These were the merchandise that Dipti was talking about that we've had stored for so long. The pop sockets were a hit. Everyone wanted those, as well as our water bottles that we have in partnership with Bandit Bottle. These are our small tote bags, but we also have drawstring bags as well. So we were socially distanced. That's Gabe giving his little speech, and then Matt would go, and then Corbett, and then I just sat and listened to the same speech for 5 days straight, which was really funny. So those are some of the photos. We had small groups for our, this is labeled wrong, it's actually alumni, but that's okay. We had some small groups attend, which was good because we didn't want a lot of people to come anyways. These were our constituency groups. So some of them were from Embark, Out on Campus, Women's Center. We also extended the invite to our Graduate Student Society, so GSS. More speeches, that's how we would start off as. And then we would go on tours. So this is Callie from FNSA testing out our lights. So this was essentially like the first week before even the sub opened, like the week of. So in the morning, the sub was closed and there was no students now, which was really nice because now it's really full and it's really hard to find study spaces. What else is there? And then we went on tours all over. So this was nice to do. So this was our constituency groups. And this one was especially special to me just because for context, like if this is your first time volunteering or being within the SFSS or getting involved, like these constituency groups has faced so much harm from previous boards in which they were denied space within the sub. These folks, such as FNSA and SOCA and the Women's Center and Out on Campus, were housed in the Rotunda. So that's the level above the second bus loop and near West Mall Center, which is now being renovated to be, I believe, classroom space from SFU. And so previous boards denied these folks spaces when these constituency groups serve marginalized community groups. Out on Campus serves Two-Spirit, LGBTQ, non-binary, and trans folks. Women's Center provides space and safety, places to sleep, food, a kitchen for self-identifying women and trans folks as well, and safe sex supplies. And they have free resources, libraries, so education. SOCA, Students of Caribbean and South African Ancestry, is a space for Black students on campus. And this was special because when we did the tours, each went into their own room on the first floor and they got to say what that space meant to them. They were able to show, like, this is where I'm working, this is what we're gonna do, this is where I'm gonna paint the wall, this is where I'm gonna have decorations. Everything was so new to them. They have, SOCA's space before was literally the size of a closet. And now they have this whole room with office space in the back with a quiet space. So that was really heartwarming to have. And I think that was one of my most favorite days. The other most favorite day that I had was the very first day. And this was, and I wish some of you came, it was our opening ceremony with elders and students from the First Nations Student Association, as well as staff from the Indigenous Student Center. And we had drumming and singing. And we had our staff come too. And we had elders from Squamish and Musqueam territory do a prayer for us as well. So I'm going to show some pictures now. I feel like a proud mom showing that this happened. Okay, so this is Matt giving his speech, and he sang and he drummed with Ian B. So they did that. This is Elder Margaret telling us a story, and she also did a land acknowledgement. And so this one was quite full as well. We also had the Peak come to do some media interviews with us there afterwards. This is Elder Shane Point, and he blessed the four corners of the ballroom. So when you walk in there, he was saying that two of the corners represent your mother, your grandmother, and your grandfather from your mother's side. And then the other two corners represent your grandmother and your grandfather from your father's side, and that those are the core pillars of what makes a home and what makes a house. He also gave a place name to the Student Union building, which translated to a very similar, there's no direct translation what Student Union meant. I believe from, I think he's from either Musqueam or Squamish territory, so I have to double check. But there was a place name for it that Matt remembers, but I can't remember right now, but he gave that for us, and we're hoping to get a plaque made out of it so that we can put it on the Student Union building, so we also have a name for it as well. Then they went on tours that Corbett led. So everyone was getting first look on that morning of. So this is the beginning of it too. Later that afternoon, we had Burnaby stakeholders and SFU stakeholders as well come join us. So basically, folks from student engagement and retention, Joy Johnson, VP finances and administration and all of that stuff. So we invited them and they came. This is Gabe giving his speech again. I think this is Mike Hurley, who's the Burnaby mayor. Same with Katrina Chen. The food that Dipti bought with Renaissance and coffee and bananas here at Origin. So you can see that on the side. That's where some of the budget went to. Oh, thank you, Justine. And then we took awkward social distance photos when you have to fix the editing and lighting of these. But that's who came. And then afterwards, these folks did tours as well of the sub. So that was one of the other days. I'm going to see what else I can share. Another event that we had was with past SFSS executives and current members of council. So this is what happened on that day. And we had two past SFSS executives come who actually were very helpful in the creation of the Student Union building, because they were lobbying for this to happen through the Build SFU Fund. So there was a lot of context and history given at this meeting. This is President Asa Muhammad, who was president last year, and then Gabe came as president after her. So she gave her speech. We have Hamza Khan, who was one of the execs as well. And it was so weird because they're like saying, oh, I'm married now and I have children. I'm like, oh my goodness, just aged yourself. But like, I can't believe we'll be there in like a couple of years and we were in these positions. So it's just really weird. Then the counselors and past SFSS executives had tour of the building after all of the speeches, and we had mingling. So that was sweet. What else is there? Yeah, okay. So that was it for my little presentation, which was just showing you cute pictures. But are there any questions about what happened? I wish some of you were there, but I know because of COVID, it was still up in the air. Okay, we'll move on to discussion items for semester at a glance. So this is where I would want your input. I'm just looking through my notes here. Okay, so for the month of October, we are going to have a Halloween event, quotation marks, which we will discuss on item 8.3 more in detail. So that's for the month of October. For November, Dipti and I were talking about this the other day, where there are senior homes within the Lower Mainland and programs in which community members can write letters to senior citizens who are staying at these care homes. So an event that we would do would be called, or a tabling event that we would do would be called loosely Christmas Care for Seniors, and we would invite students to write a little card, and that will be sent to the senior care home. And then students who do write this card or a nice note would be entered a chance to win a prize for their efforts. And along with these cards to the seniors, we would be either providing like fuzzy socks or puzzle games. The initiative of this project was brought to us by Dipti. Initially, we wanted to do this to teach students compassion and just giving back to the community and respecting our elders. For accessibility needs, another option that we would consider doing is to have online submissions for students who can't go to campus because they are immunocompromised, or just because it's easier for them to have like virtual cards for these students. And then we will work with our communications coordinator to provide a template for them. So Dipti, would you like to say anything else on this event?
Yeah, this event we can actually start mid-November to end of November, and then it can go just up until like maybe December 2nd week. We're also doing Christmas card making, but it just like auto runs. It's like I just leave supplies to make Christmas card, DIY Christmas card, like stickers and a blank cards, and students can actually come and make Christmas card for their loved one. But this is in addition to that, and this is actually going to seniors in our community. So we haven't really chosen any senior home yet, but we're thinking, you know, if we see enough interest and if the events committee approves today, and whoever takes the lead on this, then maybe we can work on finding a senior home. Because I have seen in the past in the community that I live in, community people have done that, and it has made seniors so happy because, you know, sometimes they lose contact with the family, or maybe they miss family, and having strangers sending them those notes or maybe those cards, that does matter a lot to them, and it just spreads happiness. So maybe we were thinking for students also, the perk for them would be like once they write the letter, they write their name and maybe just email address in the back of on the back of the card, and then they enter to win. They get a chance to win one of 2 or 3, or maybe we can decide how many gift cards we want to give out. We were thinking $250 Amazon gift cards, so that we can, that looks like big, but if you see at the end of the day, it's only like $100 as a perk on top of the supplies cost. And once we have all those cards ready after the deadline of the event, we can actually buy, if say senior home has 130 residents, then we can buy 130 of the care items. Say for example, I know Jess has just read fuzzy socks or anything, or maybe a small gift for each senior in that senior home. It just the reason behind this event is like creating that compassion in students, teaching them to value seniors in our community, and also spread the joy to to seniors in our community as well.
So now I want to open up the floor to our counselors and our student at large to have their input on this, so that I can assign leads in discussion item 8.5 to this event. ACAM is on the list.
So this just reminded me of something, and I think it's a really great idea, but this also reminded me of us maybe even potentially being able to do like a Christmas toy drive for kids. I just remember from high school, because I know my family doesn't celebrate Christmas, but a lot of kids do. And when there's a lot of low income families, kids tend to feel very left out when they're really not able to celebrate Christmas. And even for parents as well. And I remember doing a toy drive, and we could turn it like even into like a fundraiser, bake sale, something like that, where if we can get sponsors for it and we can raise money to go and get toys for kids. And maybe that could be like a joint event with the letters for seniors, which is a great idea. And then it can be done simultaneously maybe, or do you guys like, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think it should be done separately? Do you guys think we can make it like a bigger event maybe somewhere in the sub around Christmas time? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Bigger event. Sorry, I see nobody's nobody listed, so I just thought maybe I'll speak up. When you say bigger event, what do you think?
We could just do like a bake sale on the side of like writing the letters. Like instead of one table, we could have like two, or even like a coffee sale or something like that if we find sponsors. And then whatever money we raise can go towards getting like toys for kids, or maybe even donating to shelters and stuff like that, while we're doing like the letters and everything at the same time. Only if people are interested. It's just an idea. So if everyone's interested, then maybe we can think about doing that.
I actually spoke with our MSCs this morning about funding and guidelines that students can do. So I want to make sure that we do have the ability to fundraise if possible, and how that would work and how that donation processes would work as well. I guess November would also be preparing for December if we're going to start the Christmas toy drive as a joint event with a Christmas Care for Seniors. I actually see them as two separate things because we're able to focus on our senior population within our community with these Christmas cards. And then we can focus on children, low-income families, single moms, especially BIPOC single moms, for the Christmas toy drive. And then we can focus it on that and children as well, if we want that event to happen in December. But moving back to the Christmas Care for Seniors, can I have input quick, because this meeting only has at least 20 minutes and we have a bunch to get through for discussion items, but I want to hear some input so I can just delegate some tasks and leads to these projects. Okay, I will be delegating because I need support. I can't run every event on my own. I have a lot of other things to do. That's why this committee is created, so that I can have leads on these small projects, because now we're moving to in-person events where we can actually do that. I know that we are putting in-person events on hold until further notice because we aren't allowed room bookings as of yet. However, we'll change the name, we'll call it tabling. I'm working on tabling guidelines with our member services coordinators and our building managers as well. So we will have a more concrete way of how to table, where to table, and when to table for this Christmas Care for Seniors. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say that this event is okay since I'm not hearing any feedback. And I will delegate some leads because I need support in discussion 8.5. For the month of December, since this is the annual semester at a glance, Christmas card making. Dipti, would you like to discuss this?
Yeah, this will be third year, -1 actually, minus COVID year. We'll be doing Christmas card making. It's pretty much like auto run. Previously, we used to be in the MBC, so we had a pretty small general office, and I used to leave one sample Christmas card. So I buy a big poster board and I make a big giant Christmas card, and we just leave it on the table so students get to just a sample, and then we leave small cards and some coloring supplies and some Christmas stickers. And this is for students in their spare time. They can just come color it and they can make Christmas card. We also advertise this on our social media, so and let students know where those cards will be for them to make. This year, because I'll be working remotely for the month of November and December and won't be able to drive back and forth to the office at all, so Maya would be helping me out, and she's going to put all the supplies out in the morning, and then she'll take it and put it back in before she goes home. So it will only run between 9 to 4. And we yet to decide place. I'm going to have a meeting with Shelly soon and decide on a place where we will leave those supplies. And yeah, it just students make cards for their loved ones. So once they make it, they're free to take it with them.
That's cute. Thank you, Dipti. I'm not going to be lead of this event, so again, I'm going to delegate some folks to assist Dipti with this. Though Dipti will not be here during that time, we will have Samaya, which you have yet to meet, and I'll be there for support, but I will not lead this project. But I do support it, and I'm excited. For COVID, we'll just have hand sanitizer, so students can just sanitize their hands after they use the markers and stuff. So is there any discussion or feedback for this Christmas card making event for the month of December? Eka.
What does leading this event look like? What would be the person's responsibilities? Would they need to be on campus? Do we know how long they would need to be on campus, like times, stuff like that?
So I can answer that. We don't really need any support or anything because it's like mostly auto run. If we would just say regularly check wherever we will leave supplies. It just like regularly check where we're leaving, or maybe if students are taking advantage. We just don't want things missing. But I have made sure I buy enough supplies, and then we will keep restoring things if they go missing, because it does happen every year. So we will make sure that, but just it's like if you're on campus, just maybe take a walk around where those supplies will be and make sure students are not really taking advantage of all the supplies left out there.
So my suggestion would just be to have 1 or 2 bodies do shifts during that day, just to sit there for an hour or 2 and then watch and then talk with students. Oh, this is what you're actually supposed to do. So I do believe that we need bodies there to help with that day. As for the Christmas toy drive, if this is something that ACOM you want to lead on, I also encourage you to look at our club's terms of reference to make sure that this is okay. Talk to VP Finance as well of how we can appropriately fundraise if that's something that you want to do for December. Is it? No pressure. It can change between now and that month.
I think I do. I think it would be really nice. I know, like, before I always talked about doing sort of like events when we have holidays and stuff like that. I think it'd be really nice to like if it's a bake sale or if it's coffee, then students are getting something out of it, but we're also giving back to the community. So I feel like I want to lead on this. I'm not sure exactly how that would go, but I can set up meetings with, who would I need to set up meetings with? So first VP Finance, and then is it one of the staff to figure out how I would be fundraising?
50 as well. And then once we figure out the delegation of roles, you could ask one of the non-executive counselors or one of the at-large members who are interested in this project to kind of be your event support as leads. Okay. So that's it for December. For November, we only have that Christmas Care for Seniors event so far, but I want folks to I want us as a committee to have at least 1 or 2 events within the month, addition to the Christmas care for seniors. I think that there needs to be a little bit more. I know this is nervous if this is your first time ever volunteering or taking lead on something that's front facing. This position is front facing, especially for events. But more lead is needed from you folks to brainstorm and have these events for November. So other than the Christmas care, I want 1 or 2 more. And if you have ideas to brainstorm, we're gonna please bring that to the committee for within the next 2 weeks, but also through emailing me. I'm behind on my emails and I don't check Discord, and you can message me on Facebook, but I don't check my Instagram messages. So email is the best way to actually and make it open to the committee, like, hey, this is what I have for November. And then you and I can set up an individual meeting with Dipti as well, and Akam, who's the vice chair, and then we can talk about how you can lead this event. So I'm expecting us as a committee to have 1 or 2 more events for that month. Is that okay? Either like a thumbs up or a yes in the chat would be so helpful. Okay, yes, cool. Okay. For December, this is going to be a busy month. Other than the Christmas card making, a Christmas toy drive, if that's something that Akam wants to continue, would be food packages and a photo booth. So the food packages is something that's led by Dipti. She's going to be doing that, as she mentioned earlier. Essentially, this is going to be food packages for students, that they have something over that month. Angela, hello, Angela. Are you a non-executive counselor?
I think I'm an at-large.
Okay.
member.
I need to add you. Angela, oh, this is.
Yeah,
this
sorry. I have to change my name.
Okay, thank you. Just entered from a different device.
Yeah, I had to restart my computer. I did have a question about the last thing we were talking about, but I don't know if we have enough time.
Yes.
I just had a quick question. Do you guys have when will you guys decide on a date?
For the November events?
Yeah.
Well, that's up to the lead.
Gotcha.
So we're going to go over the event plan and how to really plan an event together within the next few minutes for item 8.4. But that way it's going to help you say the date, the time, the location, who you need, who's your event support, how are you going to make this event accessible and inclusive. So we'll discuss that later on. For the dates, that will be on your own terms if you are the event lead and if you choose to do this alongside Dipti.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, Dipti, you unmuted. Do you have a feedback for that as well?
Yes. Sorry, I listed and I see I only chose you instead of sending it to everyone. That was my mistake. So hey, we did not discuss about October event. We should do something for the Halloween. And I have some suggestions for that. I just need someone to lead this. Maybe we'll need 1 or 2 volunteers just to hand out treats.
Yes, so that discussion item is going to be 8.3, but we're still on 8.1 for semester at a glance for December.
I see.
So we were talking about your food packages, which you will take lead on. And then I just want to give an overview about what's going to happen. So for December, we're also thinking of having, oh my gosh.
Do you want me to explain a little more about food packaging?
We're looking for a photo booth and oh, yes, Dipti, please go ahead.
Do you want me to? Okay, some of you may not know what food packages are. So it's not for all the students. It's only for students who will be left behind or who will be staying on campus. So especially students in the residences only. So what happens is during Christmas, so starting Christmas Eve to to New Year, most of the food places on campus are closed, including dining hall and Renaissance, everything, even the Cornerstone as well. All the food places are closed, and students hardly have any options for food on campus. So what we do is we make those packages that has a pack of noodles. We bring those kimchi noodles, granola bar. We also add hot chocolate packets there, and since the COVID started, we add sanitizer, the small bottle of sanitizer in there as well, and a pack of popcorn, those microwavable popcorn. So we make package of this, we put it in a sandwich bag, and we have a little note that says happy holidays from Sfss, and we just deliver those at the residence. Now we used to do 200 to 250 up until last year. This year onwards, we decided to do 400 because there are two new buildings, and there might be more students due to pandemic, or maybe students who have just returned from their home country and who will be on campus. So we were thinking we do 400 this year.
I think 400 is a good number, and Dipti and I were talking about the other day because of that same reason. There's more buildings, there's more people living on campus, and going back home to someone's home country is going to be difficult because of the pandemic. So I believe like more students will be staying at home by themselves or in small groups. So I think something from us would be very sweet. Dipti will be doing that. She's actually planning that right now as well. Another December event that we will be talking about, we might look out for a Santa and hire a Santa for pictures within the sub. So we'll do another photo booth, but we'll have a Santa Claus. We also have to look at getting some plexiglass so that students can just stand in front of Santa because of COVID, but also of safety, so that students are protected essentially from Santa, if that makes any sense. Like, we never know what Santa's going to do. Hopefully we get someone from a good company, they have good background checks, everything like that. But that could be an option of where we have a plexiglass and we just take a cute photo or anything like that if we do want him there. If not, for simple reasons, we can have just a backdrop and then students just take pictures on their phone. So we would need an event lead for that as well for the month of December for that photo booth activity. And then we're handing out candy, coloring books, and we'll have giveaways as well. It's just looking at the time, it's 5 minutes to 1. I can only extend this meeting because I have to go to campus on Burnaby and I'm in Surrey. So is everyone okay with me extending this meeting till 1:15? Okay, thumbs up from Acom and Shang and Ava. A yes from Angela and Arthi. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I should probably extend these meetings to be at least like an hour and a half. But I will look at our when to meets as well, just to double check if that's okay. So that's for December, and then we'll have, again, we'll designated leads as we move on closer to that event. Three other things that I want to talk about within my semester at a glance is actually like what I'm going to do as chair and as VP events. When I was running my campaign, I wanted to do a couple of things. Have a grand opening of the sub and a student appreciation night. I somewhat opened this up through a soft opening, but for the month of January, I want to do an event that's bigger, which we can have actual bodies in the building when we do this. That's not just selected guests, like what we did for the sub soft opening. So a grand opening, we could have music, dance, decorate the space up a little bit. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And I will bring my ideas to this committee and Dipti as well. And I will need more support from our staff and from the executive team to pull this off. So that's what I'm going to be working on while you folks are leading these smaller events throughout the month of October, November, and December. I'm also going to be planning a student appreciation night, which will happen possibly at the end of my term, where we can recognize the achievements of our student volunteer executives who do this work unpaid. So for example, there's so many executives within clubs and our student unions who do advocacy work and who do community involvement, who do career involvement, just to create space for their students who share similar interests and they never stop even during COVID. So I want to plan that night for them, where there will be awards or some form of recognition for their work. The other event that I am working on is Women of the Year Awards. I want to change the way that we do these awards. I won them 2 years ago, and then VP Equity and Sustainability won them last year. However, it needs to be changed in the way that we run them. It needs to be more inclusive and equitable. It has been very based on like popularity, which I don't agree with, as well as I want to open up the awards to include also self-identity. We want to make sure that when we say women, we make sure that those are self-identifying women, and that we also include and encourage single moms to apply. There are so many single moms within this institution that are amazing women who still are trying to raise their own family while trying to get their bachelor's degree. So making sure that our community is aware of the option. Another thing is to have more BIPOC women apply for this award who do advocacy work within their own communities. That deserves recognition as well. So changing the application process of who applies for this event, who applies for this award, the factors, who the committee is to choose the recipient of the award and whatnot. So I will be working with various staff for that. Again, bringing my ideas towards you and asking for your help in all of these 3 big events that I hope to have before my term ends. I am going to strike item 8.2 because we don't have time and it's not that important. So this, for our next ECAC meeting, this will fall under old business. So we continue that discussion. Now we'll move on to 8.3, our Halloween event, which was submitted by me, but I'll actually pass the floor along to Dipti to explain what is happening for that event.
Yeah, so my suggestion for this event, and again, we'll need an event lead for this. I'll be there to support as well. So all the activity that we're planning, because we cannot really do an event kind of event. In the past, we used to have pumpkin painting, we used to hand out hot chocolate, treats, photo booth, and lots of fun activities. Unfortunately, I think pumpkin painting shouldn't be done this year because of how crowded it gets sometimes, and we don't want students sitting and painting their pumpkin and grouping or anything, so we should just avoid that. But we can have actually photo booth in the sub. And I'm talking with Shelly, and she said it's a great idea. Having a photo booth won't be considered as an event because it doesn't need to be like students, they can just use the photo booth when it's available. So we can just leave it there for a day or something. But we do need events lead for this event, or maybe some volunteers who can hand out treats. So it can be auto run, and I have secured free hot chocolate with Blends Coffee. So I spoke to the manager at Blends Coffee, and they have agreed to provide free hot chocolate. So the quantity they said would be like 200 free coupons for hot chocolate. It's because they make hot chocolate from scratch. So they cannot really pre-make it and then serve it at the place wherever we're doing our Halloween event, but at the event, because I told them like we need something, so they're going to bring one dispenser of Earl Grey tea, and then they'll hand out 200 free coupons for hot chocolate there. So and they can also bring a dispenser of drip coffee, and so one dispenser of drip coffee and one dispenser of tea, and 200 coupons for hot chocolate. So this is what I have secured with them. We already have a photo booth. Survey has a backdrop as well. So all we need to spend money on is like buying some Halloween props. We also have few, I think. I'll find it in a storage room. Not too many, but we have few props. We might have to buy few props and treats. That's it. So I think if we approve $100 for this event, $100 plus $20 maybe contingency, then I think for this $120 we can do a nice Halloween event. Plus we need volunteers as well.
So I need someone to work with Dipti on this because I'm not going to be on lead on this, but also probably considering if we can do this as well on at least Surrey campus. We tend to forget about them a lot. So that's something that you can talk to Dipti about. So Arthi, Kayla, Shashank, Akam, Eva, or Angela, would anyone like to work on this event? Your first one ever with Dipti. And then she will teach you about reimbursements, passing motion, submitting it to us, all of that stuff. So you'll learn on the fly, I promise.
For the October event, I don't even mind buying supplies and dropping it off at the sub, so you won't even have to do anything. It's just for the events in November, December. If you're planning anything, and if you do not, let me know if you want any supplies before the end of this month, then I won't be able to buy and drop it off. Just for November, December, if you buy it and just send me the receipts and I'll process your, I'll make sure I submit check recs to process payment, and then you'll receive a check on the address you give me.
Okay. So that's just for reimbursements and purchasing items. So Angela, were you interested in doing this one?
Yeah, I just had a question. Would I
Yeah.
be doing this alone just because it's my first time? I don't want to mess up or
Never. No. So you would have Dipti as main support, but you'll be taking lead on it. So she will teach you how. I will be there for smaller questions, but Ava, Shashank, Akam, Kayla, or Arthi, are you interested in helping out Angela and Dipti for this event?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
totally help out.
Okay, good. Okay, just to make this clear, like this is going to be in person on Burnaby campus, perhaps Surrey, depending on what you folks decide, but this will be front facing. So Ava, are you okay with that? Angela, thumbs up. Ava's okay with it. Akam is at capacity for October. Thank you for letting us know. But you will be taking lead on the toy drive. Arthi is at capacity. Okay, so that's for October. Arthi and Shashank and Kayla and Akam, if you can at least do one thing for November, that would be so helpful for being on this committee. That would be very, very helpful, at least one thing. Okay, November, I'm taking that for your word. Okay, so Ava and Angela and Dipti.
Perfect. We should also decide on the date and time for this event.
Yes, so you three would have to meet. Ava and Angela, I will forward your emails to Dipti, and then you folks could have your own separate meeting together about it. Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh, we're doing something in person. I don't have to do any more online events. Thank God. Okay.
Can I ask, since we're in this meeting, how does Friday, October 22nd look to you, which is next Friday? I mean, because we do have our AGM on 27th, so we can either do Monday. Wouldn't, I don't know, you guys, because if the committee decides on the date as well, that would be nice. I think Friday would be a good day if you want to do it. I don't mind doing it on Monday as well. I'm away on Friday, following Friday, that is 29th, and 27th is our AGM, so that's going to be already like all our staff would be working like at capacity that day.
How is the 28th of October? I think next Friday is too soon.
We have our events committee meeting that day.
We can do it after our committee meeting at least.
Okay, so do you want to do like all day, or Angela, or 3 hours?
Let me share my calendar. Okay, so what we're looking at, don't look at my inbox. I know I have emails to go through. Okay, so we have Thursday meetings because we always do bi-weekly. So the next ESAC meeting would be on the 28th. I'll probably have to extend this, to be honest with you, from 12 to 1:30. So I'll just do that now just for the time. And I guess we tend to go over. I won't be able to help if we're tabling on this day, but for Angela, Ava, and Dipti and other counselor members, if you're free to just drop by and help out for an hour at least, we could do it in the afternoon or part of it in the morning. So you folks can do shifts. We can like leave it, I guess, for an hour and a half because we all have to be at an ECAC meeting and I don't want to cancel this. So we could do it from like 11 to 4:30. Would that be okay? While everyone looks at their calendars. Okay, I have a thumbs up from Angela. I think everyone else needs to look at their calendars. Dipti says yes, this is good because it's after AGM. Angela, yes.
So would we be having certain shifts within 11 to 4:30, or would we have to be there the whole time? If that makes sense.
If you are not available, yeah, let us know so we can arrange, or I can be there, or but it's always like we always want our events committee member or our executives to be the face for SFSS events. I'm always there to support, but I'll be running around bringing supplies and everything for you guys.
Okay. Just because Thursday, I don't know if I could, but I could do like maybe 2 or 3 hours or something, but not like the whole time. I don't know if I could do the whole time. That's why.
We can also do 11 to 3 if you're available between that time.
Yes, considering that I won't be attending the meeting, I guess.
We can leave photo booth for the rest of the day and we can collect photo. I mean, if someone can take responsibility of tearing down photo booth the next day, which would be Friday in the morning, that would be great. So we can just leave that photo booth there. People can come and take their own selfies there.
Okay. Should I just discuss this more with you privately or?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Arthi can't come to campus on Thursdays. I will be there Fridays. I'll work in the office. And then I can help with takedown or stay later afterwards to help take down because I have class until 4:30. Basically all of our non-executive counselors, execs, and staff will be doing AGM from 6:30 to 9:30 on the Wednesday, so that won't work. But yes, it is preferred to have shifts. When you table, it's just that you're sitting there for the whole entire day because it's also draining just to even do like 2 hours. It's a lot of talking, a lot of front facing with students. So let's say we'll book it for the 28th. Arthi won't be able to go. We'll sort out schedules for everyone. Shashank, Kayla, Akam, Ava, would this date be okay with you? Yes, from Ava. Arthi or Shashank or Akam? Oh yeah, Arthi can't come on Thursdays. Class at 2:30, something in the morning at 10, but fit a shift in between then. Okay, so we'll try and do shifts. If we have to leave it for a bit, I'll ask one of the execs to cover during our ECAC meeting. So I'll invite them. Okay, thank you. So that's it for the Halloween event. Dipti, Angela, Ava, get in touch in next week so that you can start doing that. We'll move on to 8.4, Planning Event Guide 101. So this is what I was talking about. So you don't feel too overwhelmed when you start planning your events. This is just a very basic guideline of what you should be looking for when you're planning it. Dipti, you directed message me +++, so I'm not sure.
Again, did the same thing. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, going back to the thing, did you say meet next week? Because I also have to submit request for work order for to our communications as well. So if we meet next week and we decide on time, I'm afraid we will not have enough time. Our communications department won't have enough time because they're already short-staffed.
It would have to be next week because I don't think, well, tomorrow's Friday, so you might have to sort out a meeting time for early next week, Monday, and then submit that work order then.
Okay, if we just know the hour, because now we know the date, if we just know hour, can we do 11 to 4 and we just have it finalized? So
yeah,
our communications department can work on promotional material for that, just posters and all.
Yeah, so the date of the tabling will be Thursday, October 28th from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Okay, so are we still doing 4:30? Because if there is no one to cover it, then it we cannot actually do it.
Okay. Do you want 3 or 4?
I think 3 o'clock would be better.
Okay, we'll do 3 o'clock. So 11 to 3, let me edit.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Okay, that's changed on our calendars. So moving on to 8.4. 2 minutes left. Oh my God. Okay. You will work on this, Angela, and Ava more with Dipti, and then Akam when you find your own event, and then with Shashank and Arthi and Kayla for the month of November with your event. Date, time, location, objective, basically like, why are you doing it? Your event support. So for example, like for the Halloween event, Angela will be on lead, event support will be Ava. So you folks will be working together. Target audience. So for example, for the toy drive, Akam's target audience was low-income families. That would be your target audience. For this photo booth event, SFSS students. What your budget is. So when you're looking at supplies, the amount of coffee, candy, whatever, decorations, just keep track of it. And like, what are you expecting to hopefully not go over? And then Dipti can show you our events budget and how much we have. A question that I want to ask you, how are you planning to make this event accessible and inclusive? So I want you to reflect on that and think about it and bring it to the team. And then your measurement of success. So what to you as a lead and event lead and support, what do you think would be considered as a success, or as it like, hey, I think I did a good job and I think that students enjoyed it. So that's something to think about and that you can go over. Okay, I'm gonna extend this meeting for 5 more minutes till 1:20. So is that okay? We probably have to run to class because I have to run to class too. Akam, list.
Yes, just a quick question. Sorry, this is a little bit off topic, but when I'm say like I want to contact like a bakery or something for sponsors or for stuff like that, is there a protocol that I need to follow? I know Dipti just mentioned that she like talked to one of the managers at Blends and got like hot chocolate. Is that sort of like the same way that I would just be talking to potential sponsors?
Dipti, do you want to answer this one because you do work with reimbursements and sponsors a lot?
Akam, sorry, can you repeat your question again?
Yes, it was just what are the protocols for contacting event sponsors? So for example, for the toy drive, if I want to get in contact with a bakery for them to supply goods either at a discount or for free, is there a protocol that I need to follow? How do I go about in doing that?
There is a protocol. It is with the communications coordinator, because previous management did say, and with the previous events committee, we did have a protocol. If we are securing a sponsor, then there has to be a sponsor's agreement, because they can anytime be discrepancy, and then we don't want to be in a situation where we are held responsible. So that is why, but I'll look into this and I'll get back to you. I'll send you an email once if our new communications coordinator have any idea. If not, we can set up one. I would just say the only thing then we can follow in that case would be like have everything in writing. So just in case in future, we know what we agreed upon and we know what the sponsors agreed upon.
Sounds good. Yes, please let me know whenever you know. Thank you.
I will. Welcome.
Thank you. I also put in everyone's calendars how this meeting got extended. Okay, so that was applying event guide 101. So delegation of roles, item 8.5. So like I said, with these events within the sub, I look to my committee for that, to our non-executive counselors and our at-large members to really take lead on these projects. Because sometimes I don't have the capacity to do that with all of the administrative work that I have to do. I also am on hiring committees at least. I'm always at least on one hiring committee all of the time. And I have 3 larger events to develop the back-end work for, and then show to you for support once these event guidelines are good. I'm also working on room booking guidelines and event processes for clubs and student unions. So there's a whole bunch of things. So with these events, I really need you folks to step up for the next 3 months, and your whole term as sitting on this committee. So for the delegation of roles, it sounds like ACOM is lead on that toy drive. Angela and Ava are on the one for Halloween. I look to you, Shashank and Arthi, and ACOM and Kayla, at least for the month of December, when Dipti is gone and away. And then I believe that Angela also voiced her capacity and support for November and December as well. So that's so helpful. ACOM, go ahead.
Yes, just another quick question. So am I allowed to collaborate with other DSUs or with other groups on campus for something like the toy drive? Or is this only something that, you know, we're allowed doing as events committee?
For me, I think we want to try and centralize this within the events committee and have it from our event. So we try and refrain from collaborations with other student unions or clubs that you are sitting on, as well as non-executive counselors, just to make sure that there isn't like advantages or leeways, just so that it's fair. But we can always invite those student groups and those events to come and join us as guests. But for any events we have within this committee, I strongly suggest and encourage that it's just within us.
So what about like groups or clubs that I don't have any affiliation with? So if there's like, for example, UNICEF, I know maybe they probably wouldn't want to collaborate with an event like this, but if they did in the future, is that something that's possible at all? It's okay. You can get back to me as well. You don't need to give an answer right now.
I know that like last term they did collab with Emerge at some points in joint events, and I did collab with SFU. We Were Here, We Were Queer for their event. So collaboration is possible, but I just want to be mindful that it's collaboration with students and clubs and groups that are relevant to the event, and that we aren't a part of those student groups as well.
For sure. I was also just gonna say, Arthi, Shashank, and Kayla, if you guys want to help out with a toy drive as well and sort of get started on that early, you guys are definitely welcome to do that as well at any time.
Thank you for reaching out to them, ACOM. So that was somewhat like a delegation of roles, but we really got to pull up for November. I at least want 2 of them. So that should be our aim. So next time we meet would be October 28th. Announcement 9.1 fall 2021 meeting times and room booking updates. I'm going to move room booking updates as a discussion item to be under old business for our next committee meeting. So we'll probably have more edits made to those guidelines anyways. So for the fall 2021 meeting times and events, they are bi-weekly on Thursdays from 12 to, I guess, 1:30 p.m. just because we always tend to go overtime with that. They will continue to be on Zoom. Just because of COVID, it's easier if you can Zoom in from your phone if you're traveling somewhere, but still be engaged somehow, your room or somewhere on campus. So we'll keep it on there as well. For myself, the best way to get a hold of me is like through email, but also if you have my phone number, that's really helpful. I don't check Discord as much. If you would like office hours, I don't have any because I just do them by appointment on Zoom. So please let me know if you ever want to meet or if you need help with planning your events. 9.2 announcement, again, remote work for events coordinator. Dipti, would you want to let them know quick about your not every detail of your situation, but just general?
Yeah, so starting November, I'll be working remotely. I'm going to go visit my family, so I won't be able to visit sub at all. So if you need my help, I'll still be available. I will share my cell phone number. well, no, cell phone won't work where I'm going. So feel free to send me an email and I'll make sure I'll be checking my email every day. I'm only taking 2 weeks off, but rest of the months I will be working remotely. So if you need any help, feel free to shoot me a message, or Hangout message will work as well if you have an access to that. I don't know, we do it between the staff here, but I'm not sure if we can receive message from outside on a Hangout. But yeah, apart from that, any email, any help you need from me, any support you need from me for the events that you might be planning, let me know. For the events that I have discussed about today, I have already made provisions for that, and those events will be running not on its own, but with the help of some of the staff who has agreed to help me out with this.
Thank you, Dipti. So the only people who have access to Google Hangouts would be our non-executive counselors. For our at-large members, you don't have access to that. But let's just try and keep it. If you need to contact Dipti, just email her quick, or if she's comfortable enough with giving her personal, well, actually cell phone won't work. Just anything, okay, email. We'll just stick to email. Okay, so Dipti, I see your direct message. I'm going to put that on the agenda for next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I feel like today was so rushed, but there's just so much things to talk about because we haven't met in a hot minute. So for action items, really quick, Angela and Ava to meet with Dipti early next week to plan out the Halloween photo booth. Another action item for Dipti is to connect with our communications coordinator for programming and for social media marketing and posts. Another one would be ACOM looking through how to work with fundraising and collaboration with other clubs for your Christmas toy drive event. And then for Arthi, Kayla, and Shashank to look at some events to do for November. To add on to ACOMs, connect with communications regarding sponsorships, and then Dipti is on the list.
Just a quick question. So how do you want us to use budget now? Are we still using my budget and then we're transferring budget from events committee to my department? Because we still haven't approved budget for Halloween event. If our next meeting is on 28, and if the Halloween event is on Thursday, which is the same day, how do we work on budget for that?
Okay, we'll just do the same thing where we take it from your event and then we'll transfer you from our event through an email motion that happens afterwards.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
So we'll do the same thing that we did for this one, where we take it from your budget and then you submit a motion where we approve that transfer of money from our budget to yours through a motion at our next ECAC meeting.
Okay, got it.
Our ESAC meeting. And then moving forward, I was like so bad last minute with these, but let's try and do our budgets and our motions before so that we don't have to transfer from committee to committee. Okay, adjournment. I will send all of these in an email for adjournment. Be it resolved, 10.1, be it resolved to adjourn the meeting at 1:25 p.m. Can I have a mover?
ACOM.
ACOM, can I have a seconder?
Shashank.
Shashank, thank you. Sorry, it was a bit of a mess today, but I will stop the recording now. Thank you for coming.